Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothing from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
There we are, TBT and Ace. Welcome to episode 191 of the Weekly Pour podcast. I am TBT. That guy over there, that's Ace. Welcome in. We appreciate you stopping by to either watch the live or listen to us on your drive home or at your house when you're laying on your couch naked. We don't care. We don't judge. Anyway, welcome. If you are watching us live on YouTube right now, please jump into the chat, say hi. We've got a lot of our regular followers in already, including, take a guess, our moderator who actually decided to come in and moderate our chat.
Finally.
I know. Finally.
I'm surprised that she came in because yesterday was her birthday. And the trend of these days is like birthday week, right?
I thought it was like month.
Oh, now it's a month.
Yeah.
So why is she even here? Why is she working? Why is she doing anything?
I don't know. But what I will say is happy 56th birthday to moderator Natalie, who turned a big 5'6" yesterday.
Excellent.
56.
Congratulations.
That is
56.
An enormous amount of candles. Wow. 56.
Wow.
Yeah.
Flip that and it's 65.
Oh, yeah. 56.
Wow.
That's like halfway to a lot more. So I'm very happy that she made it in on her 56th birthday plus a day. Mama TBT, of course, was in first. As always, it is great to see her. Let's see who else is in. Pam is in. We appreciate Pam. I thought Mrs. TBT was in, but she hasn't said anything. And apparently, moderator Natalie likes my ass. I'm pretty sure that's what that comment means.
That's exactly what that was.
Mrs. TBT is here. Hey, speaking of Mrs. TBT and Pam, and I have to throw a little shout out to their friend and our friend. It's actually our friend's wife, Christy. And if she's listening, she'll know exactly what I mean by that. They had quite the show that they went to last night, traveling all the way up to the big city of Indianapolis, Indiana, to go see Youngblood in concert. And all the reports I've gotten so far is that it was pretty damn good.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. I actually wanted Mrs. TBT to come on air.
Yeah. No. Any other time would probably be good, but it's the lack of sleep, getting up early. I had to go to work. She had to stay home and give the dog a shot because
it's her turn.
Every morning's her turn. I have to be at work. She doesn't have to be at work that early.
You don't either.
Yeah, I do. If I want to get home at a decent time.
Please. You pick your own hours. You do your own thing.
I wish
you run the place.
Ha! Hope that wasn't too loud. But everything and Pam can jump in because Pam actually provided us negative. Pam actually provided us with a video of the entire performance of Changes. That was done last night, and I have already put that up on our TikTok account. I don't know if it's been flagged yet and taken down. I'm going to check real quick to see if it's still there. Yep, it's still there. It is a whopping 8 minutes long. Wow. I highly recommend everybody go watch it. This was at Everwise Amphitheater, I think is what it's called now. It was White River State Park, whatever.
Right.
From what I can tell, especially off of this video that I've got playing here in the background, they had some pretty daggone good seats, which is great. But the video's awesome. Again, I want to thank Pam for providing that, because that was the only request I had, was that they try to at least get some of that recorded. Because I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna have a big picture of Ozzy up and all that. There was not.
Right.
However, you knew exactly what it was for, because he got out there and literally said, this is dedicated to Ozzy, blah blah blah. There was a lot of crowd interaction with the song throughout the entire thing. The crowd singing, and then at the end was an invite for the crowd to sing the chorus, and it's on the video, and it's really cool. It is really really kind of neat. I was impressed. Mrs. TBT said that had I went, I would have enjoyed it. So it's good to know that I would have enjoyed going to a concert that I had planned on going to until
Right.
the dog needed hospice care.
I'm curious to see, has she said anything about the female to male ratio at that show?
She said maybe 2 males.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
I will read a text that I got from her, because Mrs. TBT knows me very well. The text states, and I do have my phone here in case anybody's like, hey, he's not reading anything. You would not believe all the hot chicks here. I'm glad you're not here with me. LOL.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was like, there's a lot of hot chicks there. And then, I'm glad you're not here. LOL. I don't understand the LOL part. What? I don't get that. She just messed with me.
She really didn't want you to be there.
She didn't. And it was like, here, let me rub it in. But haha, I'm glad you're not here.
I mean, think about it. Youngblood is what, 27 years old, I think.
I don't know. Okay.
Well,
okay. Let me throw a little caveat on this. I did ask if there were any hot chicks there besides her. See what I did? I saved it.
Right.
But, yeah. And she said, there's a lot. Glad you're not here. LOL.
Yeah.
Whoa. There was a knife that just went by. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah, she's in the chat right now also and says more females than men, a lot more.
Yeah, I figured.
And Pam called me out on saying there were like 2 dudes there. She said, wrong. There were a lot of men there also, but the chicks were hotter. Oh, see?
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. Yeah. Where's that dog right now so I can strangle him? No, I'm not saying that because I'll get flagged now and we'll get canceled for talking about strangling dogs and whatever.
But no, it does not surprise me. He has attracted that type of crowd since the beginning.
Right. I'm going to try to remember. I got to pull the picture up because I can only go by the picture. The opening for this show was Return to Dust. It was not who I thought it was going to be, and we initially thought it was going to be The Warning. It was not. It was Return to Dust. I was told that they sounded fine, did a good job, hyping the crowd before Youngblood came on, which is always a plus with an opening band. And then when Youngblood came in, the entire thing from beginning to end of the entire show, after doors were open, was about 3.5 hours, if not a little bit more. So by the time she got in the door, it was probably right at 1 a.m. And we're hour and a half, well, let's say hour and a half, hour 40 from that location.
That's about average. That's when I usually get home.
Yeah. Natalie, thank you for putting that disclaimer. The Weekly Pour podcast does not support or condone the strangling of any animal. Appreciate you getting that up there. I went through the set list real quick, and it looks like he played probably about 12 songs. And one thing that you do not get a lot of anymore are encores. However, it appears that last night he had an encore of Ghosts and ended the show with Zombie. Two of his biggest hits. Changes was the 8th song played, and the 5th song was My Only Angel, which was the one he did with Aerosmith.
Right. Which he's going to use that because that was actually a single and well known. And
exactly.
So how long is a 12-hour set? I mean, a 12
it's
song
12 hours.
Set.
So I brought that up too. I looked at that playlist, that set list, and I was like, wow, he only did that amount of songs. However, I think the part that we're leaving out, and Mrs. DBT agreed, he does a lot of talking. Like a lot of talking. Which I can see. It's, he's got to repeat himself because nobody can understand him with his accent and all that. And
right.
It's like listening to Ozzy, and yeah.
He spoke right. He spoke more concise and clear before he met Ozzy.
Right.
And then it just no. I don't mind when artists talk between songs a little bit. I don't mind that.
Right.
I feel like it builds a connection with the crowd. It doesn't have to be every song, but a little bit. But still, 12 songs.
Well, I don't want you to jam through all of your songs and be like, all right, that's it. I'm only here to play his songs. Right. Connect with the audience.
Right. When I saw Aerosmith, that's what they did. It was front to back, boom, 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 we're gone. There was no interaction.
Yeah.
And
I want that interaction. I mean, you need that. Maybe you don't need it, but I mean, if I'm paying to see a band, then yeah, I want that interaction. Make me feel like you are interested in being where you are for me to see you.
Right.
And allegedly, that's what he does a lot of, talking. So he was able to do, the 12-song set.
Right. So the thing is, he has more records than what people think. But what do you play? Right. He's going to play most of them off. Is it off the record he just put out? That's the one that's a little more known. But you got to pick from that, and a lot of bands would fill that out with covers. They fill that set out with covers, but apparently that's not how he wants to flow with it.
No, running through all of those songs, those 12. It still says here that he played from 9:15 ish till 10:45. So you're still talking an hour and a half.
That's a lot of talking.
Yeah, that's a lot of talking. But you know how, watch the video that I posted of Changes, and you'll see that the song itself is extended because of the interaction with the fans.
Right.
Because of the little extra, sing along. Woo!
Right.
Yeah.
And it builds a moment. That's a moment.
Oh, exactly. Sorry, I'm over here with the chat room, and I just lost it. So now I can't see anything. So now it's back. So careful what you were saying. Oh my gosh. Moderator Natalie says the most important question, was he shirtless?
Probably half the show.
Probably all of the show. I mean, she could just go and see the video that I posted, but then why?
And I bet
he was. What?
I bet he sweated a lot.
And I bet it was hot. The weather was hot. Speaking of Ozzy, we do have some Ozzy news towards the end of tonight's show that's kind of interesting. I'm not quite sure what to think about it, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, so as I was saying, allegedly, supposedly, according to everybody, it was a good show. Even the opener, so that's good. I'm glad they were able to go and have a good time. Nice little girls' night out to see a Youngblood concert. And again, if you are on our socials, be sure to go to our TikTok and check out that video, that 8-minute long video, until TikTok decides to take it down. But I want to thank Pam again.
Why would they do that?
Who knows? Why did they do a lot of things? But I also want to thank Pam again for providing that to us so that we could put it up there. Episode 191 means we are 9 episodes away from hitting the big 200. I think we should party.
Woo!
Okay, and that's the party.
You when they take that down and you repost it somewhere else,
yes,
you need to brand it like the video TikTok didn't want you to see.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah,
I
like
totally should.
really clickbait it up.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Real quick, while I'm thinking about it, because I failed to do this last week, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now and get it out of the way. Big special thanks to Petty's Poor Decisions, who, of course, is our sponsor for this podcast. If you're looking for a mobile bar service in or around the Lawrence County, Bedford, Indiana area, not limited to those areas, by the way, check out Petty's Poor Decisions. There is a link to their social media page on Facebook. That link is in the show description. Be sure to check them out and thank them for what they do. Aaron, who is the main connoisseur of poor decisions, runs the place, and she's awesome. They are, again, a mobile bar service in Bedford, Indiana. That is Petty's Poor Decisions. Be sure to check them out. And again, thank them for sponsoring the Weekly Poor podcast. I had to get that out of the way. Party at the Taj Mahal. Gataja Mahal.
Did you rebrand it?
No, I'm reading what Natalie put up here. Gataja Mahal. And then she, underneath it, instead of just deleting the message, puts a little asterisk and says Garage Mahal.
Oh, well.
Gataja Mahal. It's now rebranded to the Gataja Mahal.
When you're 65, words become hard.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
shaky fingers get in the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And the synapses are further apart, so they're not snapping.
Yeah. And she's not understanding the syllables.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So we know that there's bands out there whose members get sick. Sometimes they can't perform at a show. Sometimes they, whatever. In some recent news that just came out today, I believe, at least this is when I heard about it.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised at the news that came out of the Stryper camp. This actually came out yesterday when Michael Sweet, of course, the lead vocalist for Stryper, who has been around for, good grief, 43 years, I would say. Almost as long as Natalie in her 65 years. Michael Sweet was being interviewed by it was either a podcast or a radio station or something. And they ask him the typical question that a lot of people want to know. And that's how him and Oz Fox are able to just gel together so well, for the guitar work. And you always know that Stryper sound. When you hear a band, you hear a song, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that sounds like Stryper. And then, of course, it is. Well, because this song was because this question was asked, apparently it wasn't the first time this question was asked, and Michael Sweet actually kind of swept it under the rug and didn't want to say anything until he talked to Oz Fox. He talked to Oz, and basically the words coming out of Michael Sweet's mouth, I'm going to try to read this verbatim. Let me get to this part. Basically, on this album, according to Michael Sweet, Oz had problems with his blood pressure and regulating that, and it really affected his pitch and his hearing, and he wasn't able to play.
I was wondering how that worked. So
right. He adds, he wasn't able to play, and when he was having trouble at rehearsals, and Robert Sweet, of course, Michael Sweet's brother, came up and pulled him to the side and said, hey, I just want to warn you, Oz is having some trouble. And then when it came time to track guitars for Oz, sure enough, he wasn't able to do it. So basically, Michael Sweet is playing all of the guitars on this album, which is a first. It's different. He tried to really, as a guitar player, really tried
Make it sound like
to make
two
it sound
guitars.
like two guitars, exactly. With a style of sections and adding harmonies here and there, coming in and out, doubling. And I really tried my best to make it sound like Stryper sounds. So the big thing is they're going to release a statement. Oz Fox is also going to release a statement a little on down the road, just explaining what's going on. Because if you've heard a couple of the songs, you probably didn't pick up on it. Because Michael Sweet is what I would say is a perfectionist when it comes to Stryper music.
Didn't you say, though, when that song came out, didn't you already pick out that he was playing guitar on the first song we heard?
I don't recall that.
It seemed like you were on it real quick.
I don't recall. But now that this news is out, it's going to be okay. Now I want to go back and listen to him again. I want to listen to the entire album when it comes out and see if I can really tell a difference. Personally, I don't care. I've been a fan of Stryper since 86 when Natalie was 20. And I love Stryper. I think they're phenomenal. I love the guitar work. If you've ever had a chance to see them live, watching Michael Sweet and Oz Fox play, not just sing, but just play, they're phenomenal guitar players. But it's very interesting, and I appreciate and respect the fact that they came out and they were like, hey, everybody's going to ask about this because that's what Stryper's known for, is their hard-hitting guitars, their riffs, just everything. And for them to be able to come out and say, look, Oz didn't play on this record at all. It's all Michael. Now, that doesn't mean that Oz isn't going to have his ducks in a row and be able to go out on tour. He missed the tour that they did, the acoustic tour, because of all the medical issues he had.
He's got a ton, and they're serious. These are serious issues.
Right. We're talking tumors on the brain. So, much respect to Stryper, to Michael and Oz and Robert, and of course Perry, for doing what they're doing. They're not trying to hide behind anything or say, "Oh yeah, this is all of us," and whatever. It's still Stryper. Just because Homeboy didn't play on the album doesn't change that fact. They're acknowledging that there's a little bit of a change here, but that doesn't mean anything going forward. You can't read into this until there is a statement released by Stryper themselves.
What concerns me as far as Oz goes is this wasn't like just a song that he couldn't track or rehearse. This turned out to be the entire record.
Right.
It makes me wonder, like I said earlier, how this blood pressure issue factors in, because he's not able to control it. And how does that? Why does that affect his playing? We need a doctor online to, tell us these things. But that to me is concerning, because it makes me wonder now, if they do tour with this, and they probably will he be able to do anything?
Right.
Or is he going to have to sit this one out just because of his health? Now he can't play on the record, which a lot of times, even with health issues, you can play on the record or you can sing on the record or something. Sure. Now he can't play on the record, or maybe not tour. I don't know.
Well, and that's one thing too. Blood pressure, normally it's 2026. That can usually be regulated. So hopefully they get that stuff done, get everything regulated, everything taken care of. So when they do go out on tour for this new album, he can go. But this week, it seems like we're getting a lot of news about not being able to play, health issues, different things this. Like you just said, this is an entire album where the lead guitarist is not playing. That's huge.
And it's huge. But what's the most important thing?
His health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it forces him to stay home so that he can be healthy and not have issues with these brain tumors and the seizures and things like that, he needs to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So,
And like you said, it doesn't mean he's not a member. He'll always be a member.
yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. So, um, yeah. But anyway, we it's something you're going to sit here and, wish Oz Fox, the best for his health. Stryper will continue with the success. We will wait to hear further from the band themselves and from Oz in regards to anything in the future. So we will not speculate that there will be any changes made. Um, Speaking of health issues, maybe this is one of those things we're just not quite sure of. Um, David Lee Roth, just the other day, about 4 or 5 days ago, canceled the remaining tour dates on his summer 2026 tour dates. Do you want to know the reason? So do we. There has been no reason given, although there is speculation that it was due to low ticket sales, which, if you're putting out more money than you're getting coming in, yeah, you might want to consider just canceling those dates. All but one of the tour dates were canceled. I kind of made a joke that the only one that he kept was Sturgis. And the reason, everybody's drunk and nobody will care anyway.
He actually put out a statement about that. Basically, a statement that he was excited to play Sturgis and how he respects the biker community and wants to show his respects by not canceling that show, doing that show. And that leans to me not thinking this is a health problem.
Did you watch the video of him talking about the biker stuff?
I did not.
If you want to watch something extremely David Lee Roth entertaining, jump on, I believe it was his TikTok, and watch the video of him talking about wanting to grow up and be a biker.
Nice.
Yes. Related to this story because of these tour dates, Sammy Hagar, who everybody knows went and replaced David Lee Roth in Van Halen. He actually shared a video message on his social media in which he addressed the tour cancellation, basically saying, hey, I hope it's not health related. I hope you're doing good. I'm sorry that you had to do this. And, if you ain't got nothing going on in September, you are more than welcome to join him and Michael Anthony at their Las Vegas residency. Sammy Hagar says, come on, join us. Sing a couple of songs, MC the damn show. Come out and just do what the heck you do, which is pretty damn entertaining. Anyway, hope you're well. I really do. And that was from Sammy Hagar. So Sammy's offering that olive branch.
Yeah, he always does.
Yeah.
Sammy's been very, very congenial over the last handful of years with Dave, with Alex, trying to, hey, let's just put grudges behind or whatever. We're too old for this.
Sure.
And move on. Which I think Sammy was very sincere in this, but this does two things. It shows insincerity, which he was, but it also puts that Vegas show back out there in the news.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Good marketing there on Sammy Hagar's part.
I have to laugh at Backstage Recordings, who says people heard the YouTube videos.
Well, yeah.
And it changed their minds about going. That makes me want to go even more.
Well, I was going to get there, so I'm glad he said that. I think the low ticket sales, and I'm talking reports I've heard were as low as 50 seats sold in theaters, like theaters that hold, let's say, 3,000 people or 1,000 people, 50 seats. And these prices were still, some of them $300-$400.
Yeah.
And there is so much video out there showing Dave doing what Dave does that it may have turned some people off. He's overexposed by being so bad or however people view it,
Sure.
that he's overexposed himself and he's hurt himself. But, he was doing this whole thing live. And credit for him to do that, but it just wasn't working. I think that's speculation.
Yeah.
But
He's 71 years old. He might have got out there. I mean, this tour kicked off in April, May, June, July. We've made it 3 months. And maybe he's just like, you know what? It is too damn hot. I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. And you know what? That's his prerogative.
You brought up the heat real quick. I wanted to mention this to you. Out west, they've had a massive heat wave, and I think Saturday in Las Vegas it's supposed to hit about 120 degrees.
Is that all?
That's all. 120 degrees. But
that's fine.
AC/DC plays that night.
Ooh.
And so my first concern when I heard this was Brian Johnson. We may actually see him die if this is outdoors.
Oh,
thank goodness it is not. It is in Allegiant Stadium, air conditioned and all that. But 120 degrees, and they do outdoor shows out west in this temperature.
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat. What? It's hot.
It's not hot. It's a dry heat.
You got to be. I was told when I went to Nevada that I have to be careful not to stay outside too long because I may not even notice that I'm outside because it's so dry the heat is and comforting.
Wow.
Or whatever. I may not know that I'm hot.
So there is some interesting news, however, regarding David Lee Roth, as he is supposed to join none other than Alex Van Halen during an event in Fargo, North Dakota tomorrow. That is July 30th, because today's the 29th. Hashtag I know math. Tomorrow, July 30th, David Lee Roth and Alex Van Halen together again. Don't get excited, though. They're not expected to perform at the event.
Well, not sing, not play instruments.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Roth will still perform.
Exactly.
Yeah. But they're going to, it's 3 icons, 1 stage, 1 conversation you won't want to miss. This is, who are they with? They're with an artist, acclaimed artist, Robert Vargas, is who they will join. Doesn't say if, what they're going to be talking about. You can only assume there's going to be a lot of Van Halen stuff mentioned, especially with David Lee Roth now being there as well. If you don't know who Vargas is, he's a Los Angeles-based artist who created a mural of Eddie Van Halen in 2021 at the Guitar Center in Hollywood. He told Variety magazine at the time, Van Halen is my favorite rock band, my first concert, my first record. So for me, it wasn't an artist for hire situation. It was really just a fan of music and someone who understands the nuances of it all. It was important for me to also open up the process for the fans to come in and be a part of it. So, interesting. We're canceling the tour, but we'll go sit down and talk with Alex, which I think is huge because the last time David and Alex appeared together at a public event was at Van Halen's final concert, which was in October of 2015.
The dynamic in the band for Van Halen is so interesting because Alex loves David, and talks about him in interviews a lot, and that's the real Van Halen with Roth and the chemistry and that sort of thing. But then he also points out that the reason there was not an Eddie Van Halen tribute was basically because Dave threw a tantrum about paying tribute to Eddie Van Halen, his brother, Alex's brother. You think that would cause some issues, but it hasn't. They seem to get along fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have the Blabbermouth article pulled up that we're looking at?
No.
I'm looking at it. This is the most David Lee Roth picture ever. Like,
Are you
I've never
talking
seen.
about the Instagram post that they embedded into it where it's got Alex Van Halen, Robert Vargas, and
No, I haven't seen that.
and cheesy David Lee Roth?
That's what this is. He looks like he is ready to go for anything.
He is
Party,
cheesing.
whatever.
Yeah, he is absolutely cheesing. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm sure there'll be some more stuff that come out. Probably some video too. When these two are together, that'll be very interesting. I'm anxious to hear what's talked about and discussed at this. So it should be pretty cool.
If anyone else gets a word in edgewise.
Oh yeah,
right.
Very much so. Like we said, they may not sing, but it'll be entertaining.
Yeah, and there, there's no response to Eddie or to Sammy's invite.
No, not yet.
Nothing. But this, we'll go do a TED Talk.
Yeah,
with Alex.
TED Talk.
That's what I'm saying. It just shows
Fanning.
you the strange relationship this group has.
Yeah, it's strange. Someone else who will not be entertaining anytime soon is Poison frontman Bret Michaels. Bret Michaels has been instructed by his doctors to take 3 to 4 weeks off as a precaution for post-op recuperation following kidney stone surgery. On July 19th, so 10 days ago, Bret was diagnosed with a complicated obstructing kidney stone requiring immediate surgery. His doctor put out a statement that says a stent was successfully placed during the procedure and remains in whatever. Due to the nature of Michael's post-operative condition and underlying health factors, diabetes, lower back compression fracture, he is restricted from performing for the next 3 to 4 weeks and only prescribed light physical activity as part of his recovery. The stent, a ureteral, I don't even know. We need a doctor. You said that earlier in the show. We need a doctor.
Right.
A ureteral stent causes significant internal friction, constant physical discomfort, and localized inflammation. The physical demands of Bret's high-intensity live performances exacerbate. Why don't they just say makes a big difference?
It worse.
Yeah, makes it worse. Strenuous physical exertion carries a high risk of intense pain spikes, gross hematuria, and acute stent displacement, which would require immediate medical intervention. Yeah, so I'd be taking about 4 or 5 weeks off.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so that those shows that were postponed include his scheduled performance at the Indianapolis State Fair. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. However, it was probably just an hour ago that I did see that Warrant will be performing at the Indiana State Fair along with opening band Vixen. So you may not get Bret Michaels, but you're going to get Warrant and Vixen.
I like how they, lose an act, but they find that era of an act and say, hey, Warrant, will you fit the bill? Yeah, they fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Bret may have said that he's going to hopefully reschedule the appearance for next year.
Yes, 2027, I think is what he said.
Right.
So hopefully he does expect to hit the road in late August, back to what he calls delivering 1,000% energy, intensity, and truly nothing but a good time. Yeah, you see what he did there. But guess what? There's more. That's right. There's more. As earlier today, more shows were canceled. It's actually the remaining of the solo tour, as Tom Keifer, lead singer of Cinderella, has canceled shows after suffering what they call a severe vocal muscle strain. Good. I don't know if I can say this is good. The good part about this is that it's only a cancellation of 3 shows. The last 3 shows of the 2026 solo tour. And it should be noted that he completely lost his singing voice due to this vocal injury. Those affected dates for this include the July 30th, which is tomorrow's stop in Glenside, Pennsylvania. And then August 1st, he was scheduled to appear at Beaver Dam, which is Kentucky's Rock the Dam. Unfortunately, he won't be able to do that. But I thought I read earlier that they actually got somebody to step in for that show. I don't remember off the top of my head who that was, but somebody was able to step in and handle that in place of Tom Keifer. So between not knowing what's up with David Lee Roth and then dealing with Bret Michaels and his issues, which we know, kidney stone, and now Tom Keifer, who everybody should already know, he has had horrible luck with his vocal stuff. I mean, this is why he was out for so long before. Not necessarily the same injury. We don't know. But
he's had the vocal paresis, I believe. He's had nodules they've had to remove. He's had problems for years. And it's I used to think it's because of how he sings, but I've learned that it's not that.
Yeah.
This one concerns me the most of the three we've talked about.
Absolutely.
We know Bret will recover. It's a kidney stone. If he rests and does what they tell him to do, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Roth will be Roth, whatever. But this one concerns me because he lost his singing voice entirely.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, he canceled 3 shows. I don't know what was going on after that, but he may not want to do anything for a while. I wouldn't risk it.
I'm hoping that this is something that he recovers from quickly, doesn't require surgery, and just needs rest. Something.
Right. We've already seen what John Bon Jovi went through.
Oh, yeah.
And having to get vocal surgery and things, and it's taken him a while to get to where he's at now, which we all have said is at least acceptable.
Right. Exactly.
And then he had to leave a show for being sick.
Right.
With a sinus infection. What the heck? What's going on?
The Eric group, who are basically in charge of the venue there in Kentucky, put out a statement earlier that says basically everything that we just said in regards to Tom Keifer. But their official statement, once I can get that to come up there, their official statement says, "We regret to share that Tom Keifer has suffered a severe vocal muscle strain, yada, yada, yada. While we're disappointed for Tom and his fans, we're incredibly grateful to Great White Band for stepping up on extremely short notice to headline Rock the Dam 9. Their willingness to answer the call and help keep this annual tradition alive speaks volumes about the rock community." So yeah, absolutely. Great White Band. Thank goodness they were able to step up. So that'll be good. That'll be a fun show. Even if you were looking for Tom Keifer, you're still going to get Great White.
I was going to say, is that the same as Great White?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
because you remember there was Great White, and then there was, Jack Russell's
Great White.
Yeah, this is the other Great White. So, yeah. That Rock the Dam is also going to include Steven Adler. White Lion will be there along with our friends Paralandra. So that'll be a great show, even without Tom Keifer. Now, of course, we wish Tom Keifer the best of getting better. But if you're going to that, enjoy it, because seeing Great White, Paralandra, White Lion, and whoever else I said, it's going to be a good show.
It'll be a good show.
Yeah. The biggest news, is this the biggest news? I don't know if this is the biggest news. This was the most shocking news that I thought we were going to cover today, because I wasn't expecting this, hadn't got any indication, but it has been reported from the mouth of the goddess of heavy metal music, Leather Leone, who of course has been on our show twice, basically says, I'm going to step back from music and figure out what my next chapter is. She was on on Poisoned Rock and a new interview. She, of course, gained her first bit of fame in 1980s as a front woman for Chastain. She's basically the goddess of heavy metal and female vocalist. She's amazing. Like I've said, she's been on our show twice. She's going to be taking a break from playing shows and working on any new music or even music related projects. And she's just going to see what's going to come up.
Right.
She's done a lot of stuff with animals in the past. Taking care of animals. Good grief. Our second interview we had with her, I don't remember how many dogs she had, going around everywhere, but
she had to cut the interview off because she had to go feed one of them or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she probably had to give a Pyrenees a daggone diabetes shot or something. I don't know. But it was actually kind of shocking to hear that she's stepping away from music. She's been doing a lot of stuff down in South America, Brazil, all that stuff, because she's got such a huge following.
Right.
Of course, her latest solo album, We Are the Chosen, came out in 2022. Amazing album.
Very good record.
It was fantastic. And at the time, her vision was to get on the festival circuit, and she continues to claw and scratch for years. And in her words, I'm just tired of being the pursuer as opposed to being pursued. So it's just crazy. I'm really grateful, but I'm just going to step back and figure out what my next chapter is.
Yeah. I understand the path that she's trying to take there with the festivals. That was a good game plan, because if you look at these festivals, there's 50, 60 acts on some of these. So she's thinking that with her background and being who she is, she can at least get a slot on those shows.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it's not worked out. They're almost, I read this as they're almost treating her like she's starting over.
Right. I mean, she was gone for what, 25 years?
A long time, yes.
Yeah. And then comes back and she's just been a force. But, is there a slight chance that she was essentially forgot about?
And that could be. Chastain, as good as they were, was not necessarily one of the bigger metal acts.
Sure.
So her being known for being the singer in that band, after 25 years, may not have mattered to promoters.
Sure.
As they're looking to put people on shows. And then club draw, I mean, you want to play some clubs or theaters, what's your draw,
Well, and there's always stuff in the background that none of us are ever privy to know about. Was the asking price too much? Was it this? Was it that? So you never know. Either way, no matter what, it still sucks that from the looks of things, we're not going to get any more new music from her, at least anytime soon. But maybe she just needs another break. Let's not make it 25 years. Maybe we just need a good year, maybe 2 years, and be like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Because she still sounds great.
Yes.
She sounds absolutely phenomenal. Can still put on an awesome show. Maybe we'll have to get her here to the Garage Mahal, maybe next year for Natalie's 66th birthday.
Right. I think she was very enthusiastic about getting back in the business.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard. What was it? Just a couple of years ago, Aldo Nova did the same thing.
Yeah.
He was out of the scene for a very long time, put a record out, and was going to start playing wherever he could play. And I think he hit the same realization.
Yeah.
That how hard it is, and here's another thing. You play clubs and theaters and you're scratching for these dates, but who else is? The other known bands from the 80s scenes, LA Guns or Faster Pussycat or people like that are trying to get dates. You're fighting almost an uphill battle.
Yep, exactly. So here's another one that we wish her nothing but the best. Lots of luck for whatever her next step is, her venture, whatever. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. We might have to reach out to her and be like, hey, what's going on? Just to get a good feel and basically check on her, make sure she's good. So, but yeah, Leather stepping back from music for a little bit to check and see what her next chapter is. Good for her for at least coming out and saying, hey, I'm taking a break and I'm going to figure out what's up. So I appreciate that coming from her. A topic that is very dear to our hearts because we have mentioned it so many times, because we see so many bands doing this nowadays, and that's the release of singles instead of full-length albums. Well, we're not alone in the thought that sometimes a single's just the way to go because you're not skipping tracks. You know who else says the same thing? Nate Peck. That's right. Nate Peck from Firehouse basically says that doing singles instead of full-length albums is the best way to keep fans engaged. He's basically saying the same thing we do. And it's, if you put out this album, people don't like it, it's like, okay, cool, I'm done with that. But if you just do single by single by single, you're engaged. What's this going to sound like? What about this? What about this? It was an interview with a radio station where Nate Peck was asked about the possibility of Firehouse releasing a new full-length album after the arrival of the two standalone singles we've already got, which is Mighty Fine Lady and Midnight Gasoline. Nate responded basically by saying, now this is just his opinion, not necessarily the opinion of everybody else in Firehouse, but, and I quote, I think releasing singles are the best way because it keeps people interested without just kind of throwing one big thing on somebody. And they get 3 songs in, they're like, nah, but you keep wanting more. So I think releasing singles is the way you have to have. Let me try that again. So I think releasing singles until you have enough songs for a full album is the best idea and the smartest move. They went on to ask if there's been any conversations about possibly re-recording Firehouse classics with Nate on vocals. And I know you and I are both like, no, don't do that, because not to take anything away from Nate, but we also don't want to take anything away from CJ. And if you have listened to Firehouse since Nate's been there, and stop calling Nate the new singer of Firehouse. There's nothing that just pisses me off more than hearing that. He is the vocalist for Firehouse.
He didn't join yesterday.
Oh, no. Sorry. I get off my soapbox on that one. In regards to re-recording those things, Nate said, I don't believe so. I think it should stay CJ.
Yes.
I wouldn't have a problem doing it. It's up to them. That's a cool idea. But for me, for Nate, out of respect for CJ, I think it's safe to keep that where it is. I agree 100%. No use reinventing the wheel.
Right. And
if you want to hear him sing the songs, go to a show.
Exactly. And he does that very well.
Yeah.
He tunes into the spirit of CJ Snare on those songs so well.
Yeah.
As far as re-recording, I think a lot of times that's done as a marketing tool. If you remember.
Oh, for sure.
Journey did it with Arnel Pineda.
T Swizzle did it.
Foreigner did it.
Taylor Swift did it with every album.
Well, that's her claiming back the rights to the records, though.
Still, she re-recorded everything.
Right. And some of them with different lyrics and what happened with those? There was different marketing. There was different packaging. There was different this, different that. I mean, she did really well and made it probably a lot of money off of it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But with help me out here. Who was the singer and Foreigner there forever? Not Lou Gramm, the other one.
Oh, Kelly.
Kelly, yeah. they re-recorded all the hits with him, but they included a new album with it. Same with Journey. So it's a Walmart special. You get a new record, but you also get the hits only with the new singer. And some people view that as like a racing someone, like a racing Steve Perry, a racing Lou Gramm. I don't know if that's exactly how I feel, but I do believe that you don't need to re-record any Firehouse songs.
Well, and it's human nature to hear two different versions and want to compare them and say, okay, I think this one's better.
Right.
In the technology that is out there today, with the production and all of that, you're going to be able to make a song sound better. I mean, there's no way around that. But Firehouse, if you play their stuff, the older stuff with CJ, not taking anything away from Nate, you play the stuff that they had back in the day, it still rocks like the day it came out. Firehouse, I've said this numerous times, Firehouse was one of those bands that were very heavy on the bass. Very heavy on the bass. And we didn't get a lot of that back in the day.
No.
Perry Richardson was the bassist. Of course, now the bassist for Stryper. Bass was all over those records, especially their debut. And I think that was one of the, other than the sound, because I loved the guitars. And okay, I just love Firehouse. I can't say anything bad about CJ Snare either. All of that. It was one of the best albums that were put out there, whether you were into the ballads or not. It was just the music, the tone, all of it.
I think especially too for that period of 80s metal when things were starting to get cookie cutter.
Correct.
They actually stood out a little bit. I remember hearing that record the first time, and I was actually thinking, I'm going to blow this off. It's going to sound, just cheaper or a cheaper version of whatever. And it wasn't. It stood out. To me, it was better than some of the other ones that were coming out before the gate came down.
No, absolutely. Bad English. Bad English was one of those bands that came out. And I liked Bad English. Trickster came out. I liked Trickster. I thought they were good for as young as they were and the stuff they were putting out. I think the album was a little underproduced, their debut, but that's neither here nor there. Firehouse, when that came out, I don't remember what the first single was off of that album, but the very first, probably the very first song I can remember outside of that was All She Wrote.
Yes.
And that song still today, you put that on a good set of speakers, man. So I can just keep talking about Firehouse for the next 2 minutes, but we got to get moving on to our last story of the day. If you're planning to go to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, be ready for this. Following the inaugural Ozzy Osbourne Day celebrations held around the world on July 22nd, Global Merchandising Services is pleased to announce its collaboration with Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights to bring the Prince of Darkness to life with all original haunted houses. The immersive experiences called Ozzy Osbourne, Prince of Darkness, how original, will debut at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando on August 28th and at Universal Studios Hollywood on September 3rd, marking another milestone in the continued expansion of Ozzy's global consumer products and brand licensing program.
How many of these attractions are going to be playing Crazy Train?
How many of these attractions are going to be nothing but you walking through every single room of this haunted house and hearing, Ozzy! Ozzy! That's all it's going to be. Yeah.
Or does he jump out at you?
I hope not.
Lots of Ozzy people in Ozzy makeup jumping out, biting off bats. Exactly. Snorting up ants.
I don't know. But yeah, so if you're excited, I love Halloween. Not so sure I'd be afraid of Ozzy, but that's
No,
interesting.
his Prince of Darkness thing almost became almost friendly.
Yeah.
Especially after the Osbournes.
I saved it for the last story because I really don't have a whole lot to say about that. I don't know. I don't know. The haunted houses transport fans through iconic moments spanning more than 4 decades of music, imagery, and storytelling, featuring scenes inspired by legendary albums including Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, Bark at the Moon, No More Tears, and Ordinary Man. The experiences celebrate one of rock's most influential artists while creating a powerful new touch point for fans around the world.
Please tell me there is one of them that is themed Bloodbath in Paradise.
Probably not.
It's Halloween.
I agree. I don't know. They probably won't, though. No one Universal. Somebody will complain. Some Karen. That's our show. Come back with us next week for episode 192 of the Weekly Poor Podcast. I am TBT. That guy right over there. It's still Ace. And we'll see you next week.